What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Every project has a purpose, but this one means just a little bit more. A client reached out to me with a simple request. Can you build something that honors someone they loved? Not a plaque, not something that sits on a shelf, but something alive, something that moves, swings, and brings a little peace every day. So today, I'm building a memorial swinging park bench bird feeder that's designed to invite birds, quiet moments, and memories back into the yard. I'll walk you through the design, the build, and the details that make this piece truly one of a kind. Let's get started. So I originally looked all over the internet trying to find copies of templates to complete this build. Unfortunately, I didn't have any luck finding them, so I just did the next best thing and drew them myself. It took a little bit of time just to get it right, and then of course a lot of erasing. But once I got them right, I kind of laid them down on some 1/4-inch stock that I had, and I cut them out. In case I'd ever start building a lot of these, I'll have those in hand. So I lay them over on my piece and then trace it out and head over to the bandsaw and start cutting. Keep in mind that most all of the projects I do can be done by beginners and intermediates using only a jigsaw. I try to keep it that way so people that don't have all the tools can easily still build something that turns out really great and they can be proud of. I do recommend just drill you a little hole in some of the corners. That way when you go in with your blade, it'll be a lot easier to make turns without going over your lines. So now on the spindle sander, I just try to hold both pieces together as best I can and get the shape complete up to my line. I always like to cut just a little bit outside the line and then sneak up on it with the sander. That way I don't take off too much, and by holding them together I'm able to control their shape and to make sure that both of them are identical. I know there'll be a lot of hand sanding later, but anytime I can use a power tool to try to take care of some of the rough stuff, it really saves a lot of time. So just take your time and use something like this, or if you don't have this, you can also use an orbital sander, or if you have an attachment you can put in your drill or your drill press or anything like that, just to make the rough parts easy. But again, I will go back and hand sand the whole project before applying any kind of top coat. Now some of the stock I used was 1 inch thick and 7/8 of an inch thick. And so for the back and some of the other pieces, I wanted it to be a little thinner than that. So I just move over to my 13-inch VEVOR planer and just plane them down to about the thickness I need. I didn't want to go real thin, but also I'm going to be needing some different sizes here. So I used a couple different pieces just to get multiple sizes to choose from. So per usual on most of my builds, I didn't really have in-hand plans, just some stuff that I had sketched out and wrote down. So on the table saw, I'm just cutting random strips that will be the back, top, and bottom, and then also the part that'll be holding the wire later. So once I get these ripped on the table saw, I just move over to the miter saw and cut them down to length. So once I have my lengths, I move back to the table saw and I want to cut a 1/4-inch rabbet right in the center of the top and bottom of the back of the bench. I'll be installing slats later, so I want them to fit in there pretty firm, but I don't want them also to be so tight that I end up damaging the piece trying to install them. So now I jump over to the bandsaw with one of the pieces that I cut the rabbet in. I just draw out a profile that'll be the top of the backrest, and just a few cuts on there and I'm finished. And now, as I promised earlier, I move over to start the hand sanding. This process can take a while, especially depending on how smooth you want it. I did a few water sprays here and there too, just to try to raise up those little fuzzies to make sure I got all of those off too before clear coating. I'm trying to sand off as much as I can now of the little rough areas. That way when assembly's complete, I won't have so much sanding to do, and most of the little hard cracks and corners that are real difficult to get inside, I won't have to hit them as much with the sandpaper. So doing a lot of prep work here will save a lot of time toward the end of the project. So now it's time for assembly. Since this will be outside, I'm using waterproof wood glue. And I just start on my ends of the backrest, and I put in a slat with a little bit of glue through the track. I make sure it's square, and then I just drive in a little brad nail just to hold it in place until all that glue dries. So I move over to the other end and repeat the same thing. And then with a ruler, I just get my center measurement and then space everything out and continue on just like that, just to get the slats in. I'll be using 5 total, so I want to make sure that I get them in evenly spaced and square, just more or less for the aesthetics of it, and you don't want it to look crooked. So I just take my time here and put them in, make sure they're all in the right place, evenly spaced, and then just on those, just the same as I did before, I just put in a brad nail just to hold them in place. So once I'm happy with that, I move on to installing the top. The top is the piece that we cut out on the bandsaw earlier, just to get that little ridge on it. But I do the same exact thing. I make sure it fits first, of course, and that nothing's out of place. And then I just run a bead of the waterproof wood glue in and get it set up and make sure it's all square. And once I'm happy with it being square, I also attach all the slats with brad nails. So now, just for grins, I'll hold up one of the sides to it just to kind of get the feel for it. And so once that's complete, I pull out the pieces that will be the sides of the trough. I add the wood glue to the ends, and same thing, I just use a brad nail to hold it in place until all the glue dries. So I go corner to corner, and I make sure that it is in square, because it will really affect the project later if you don't get it square right now. So I just like to hold the square up against it while I drive in the first nail with the glue, and then just move around corner to corner to make sure. So now I put glue on the other ends of the boards, and I hold them up to the backrest. And as soon as I get that all in square, up and down and side to side, I go ahead and pop in a temporary brad nail just to hold it in place while I check the other side. So once I'm happy with that, I put in a final nail just to keep everything together at this point. So now with the backrest and the bench part complete, I move on to trying to get it to mount to the sides. I'm using a slide rule here, and I ended up coming up on the back leg about 3/4 of an inch. I want it to be flush at the back, but of course the top needs to be more or less centered in the piece. So once I get it to where I'm happy with it, I apply my wood glue and just try to ease it down so it stays correct without getting glue smeared all over the project. So take your time here, and I get it up where I need it, and then I just shoot in a brad nail to hold it and clean up any glue that may have smeared out. But everything looked pretty good, so I went ahead and just knocked in a nail on top and bottom to hold it in place, just while I get the other side on. So I wanted to make sure that it all was perfect before I put in so many nails that it was almost impossible to get them out. So once I got that side done, I just flip over to the other side and I start adding glue to it to get it on there. So now that I have the bottom attached, I go ahead and focus on the top and make sure I have it evenly spaced on both sides. Once I make sure that it's correct, I just go ahead and put in the final brad nail on both sides. And now the frame that will be holding the wire that the bird seed will rest on, I just rip a few strips real thin and narrow on the table saw, and then take them over to the miter saw and go ahead and just cut them down to length so I can get that square put together real quick. And so since some killer jam came on the radio, I figured I'd go and test durability by knocking out that drum solo. So now with the pieces cut to length, I just move on to assembling those. I do the same thing I always do, and I just put on some wood glue, and yes, it is waterproof wood glue. And then I just shoot a brad nail in, checking my square, making sure everything looks good, and then just attach all 4 sides together. So now that the glue is dried and my hands are nearly paralyzed from all that sanding, it's time to apply some stain. I'm just using a natural color here, so it really will bring out that sweet gum. So I move around, getting in all the cracks that I can and making sure it's completely sealed and covered. And on the places that I can't get to using a cloth, I just use a paintbrush to make sure it gets in there a lot. Again, this will be displayed outside, I'm sure, and it will be in the elements, getting wet and sunshine and everything else. So I want to make sure to get a good coat, get it soaked in really, really well, just to protect it so it'll last for many years to come. I'll also be cutting out some memorial name plates and dates on the laser cutter, so I want to get those stained too. So as soon as I get this project part done, I'll go ahead and do those as well, and you may have noticed them in the opening scene of the video. So now that the stain and the couple coats of poly I put on them have dried, I go ahead and get the lower frame and I attach the screen wire to it using a hot glue gun just to help me get it on there really tight, so I can go back around with staples and apply those without the screen trying to sag in the middle. This is a pretty slick way, and I just put on the glue and then mash it down with a flat blade screwdriver just to make sure it gets down in the cracks pretty good. So now at the drill press, I just put some tape on the top post and the armrest of the bench, and using a punch, I just mark a center hole so my drill bit won't try to slip out. And then just using a small drill bit, I drill a pilot hole. Nothing too big, but not too little either, because you don't want the wood to crack here. So the eye bolts I'm running in, I want to make sure they go in smoothly, but I also want to make sure that they're very strong. So now I just go back to the bench and I apply some glue in the holes where the eye bolts go. Now when I run eye bolts in, I like to use a pencil or a small dowel rod, something like that, because usually if you know the wood's going to crack, you can prevent a lot of maintenance here by using something that would probably break before the piece actually breaks. So that's the reason I usually use a pencil to run these in, or again a small dowel rod, just something that will hopefully break before the project breaks. So now with the eye bolts installed, I test fit the bottom wire screen, and then I just apply some wood glue, turn it up on its side, and then just nail it in place with the brad nailer. I go around side to side, making sure that I get a couple in all areas just so it doesn't ever sag or try to come out. I use the pieces from my cog puzzle to support the front while I put in a couple brad nails. If you hadn't seen the video on that puzzle, you can check it out here at the link. So now using my slide rule, I mark the spots where my holes will be drilled for the rope on my hanger piece. I make sure that they're center, and I make sure that I mark all 4 on both ends. And then once I check everything to make sure it's correct, I'll move on to drilling them out. So now on the drill press, I'm using a piece of 2x4 that came off of a shipping crate. It has a body 1-inch rabbet cut in it, and it was perfect for holding my dowel rod steady while I put the holes through for the ropes. Once I get all the holes drilled, I just gave it a little sanding and I cleaned up around the holes, any burrs that might have been left over from the drill bit. So installing the hanging rope, I kind of felt like was going to be the easiest part of this whole project. Turns out I was wrong. I got the first part to go straight through the hole, no problem, didn't have any issues there. But once I cut it apart and tried to put it in the next hole, It really got aggravating. It was a poke here, push there, a tie up, a untie, put it in, pulled it out. I finally was able to get it in there, and I was also got it to the height that I wanted it to be. So when it was hung up, it would hang down at a certain level. So once I was happy with that, I got it in. Then the light came on. Why not put tape on the end of the rope like it was when I bought it? So once I figured out this little tidbit, stretching out my pieces of rope and taping them up and then cutting them became real easy going through the holes. So sometimes it just takes you a minute to step back and look at the big picture and then realize how much of a goober you were for not doing this to start with. But once I figured this out, I went ahead and cut the remainder lengths that I was going to need to complete the project. And if you're following along and you want to build one just like this, I used 2 pieces of rope 30 inches long, and for the hanging triangle part, I used 1 piece 16 inches long. So that way, that'll save you a lot of headache and time in trying to figure out what I'm doing. And also, I'll drop a cut list to the whole thing in the description. And if anybody has another easier way to run the rope through the holes than the way I did it, I'd like to hear about it. So post that in the comments as well, because that was kind of difficult to start with until I figured out the tape. So put your idea up. I'd like to see it. So now with all my rope threaded through the hanger, all that's left to do is to thread it through the eye bolts and just tie some little knots at the end. They don't have to be just very, very tight, but just enough to get in there and they won't slip back out. So once I get all of these in and tied, I just go back and remove the tape. So now with the project complete, all you need is a quiet place to hang it and a little bit of bird seed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Your support as always is greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. Another great build in honor of a great man. Remember to like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you on the next one.